Liberal MPs take their selfies outside of food banks as trophies just before Christmas hits. Let's get into it.
Oh, yeah!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to The Fringe. I hope you all enjoyed your Christmas, and it sounds to me like a lot of people had a tough time this holiday season, and many unable to celebrate holidays in the typical fashion. Now, this December, as we've talked and seen, Pierre Poilievre has gone on the campaign trail, the early campaign trail, to talk about, and has been talking about for quite some time, the usage of Canadians with food banks and the ever-growing usage of Canadian food banks. While the Liberals took a moment in December, just before Christmas, to virtue signal and do something completely disgusting to show just how out of touch they are. And we talked about this on my special Saturday stream on the 23rd. I found this highly disgusting, but I wanted to take a moment to make this video, to put this video out regardless, because anybody who missed our streams, which you shouldn't, by the way, make sure you come back and check them out. I wanted to make sure to get this video together so that everybody had a chance to actually push out and see just what the Liberals are doing and what they've done over the holidays. This is what they think is fair for Canadians. Now, of course, Cat Canada here tweeting out, this was, I believe, on the 22nd of December. And Anita Anand, the MP for Oakville, Ontario, it says the Libs wish you a very Merry Christmas and a happy food bank visit, since everything costs double now thanks to their carbon tax. And I retweeted this, basically to say, listen, this isn't a virtue signal. This is a trophy. This is a trophy from the Liberals to show they're satisfied with what they've done to Canada. They're happy. Look at the smile on her face. Hey, everyone, hope you're enjoying your morsels of handouts at the food bank while people are about to celebrate the holidays. Now, I'm going to talk about an article that's hit in Ontario, to talk about just the usage in Ontario, because of course Justin Trudeau's news censorship, there's not really a lot I can find on recent statistics. I tried to find statistics for the month of December, and maybe they're just not in yet. I'm sure over the coming days, as we get closer to New Year's, we're going to see those statistics. I can tell you that anytime I pick my wife up from work, we drive past the Calgary Food Bank, and I see lineup upon lineup. There's sometimes over an hour, I'd say, of a lineup of cars sitting outside waiting to pick up what they can in order to survive. But while Anita Anand posted this out, she quickly removed it, from her Twitter because of backlash she was getting, and rightfully so. But the internet never forgets. But it wasn't just Anita Anand who did this. Brian Lilly tweeted out December 23rd, "I see plenty wrong with this. Canada Proud showing a food bank in Toronto is giving out bags of groceries with a Liberal MP's branding. Do you see something wrong with this?" And of course, we see Nathaniel Smith of the Liberal Party handing out bags of supplements for people that, just need to get by because they can't afford Christmas because they're too busy paying carbon tax and they're too busy paying record inflation at the grocery stores. And probably, whether it's rent, whether it's a mortgage bill, whether it's property taxes, we've seen, especially in cities like Toronto, where Olivia Chow has come out to say they're broke, they're out of money. I again don't know about reassessments in Toronto, but I imagine that people's fees have gone up, where the average house is over $1 million in Toronto. But an article coming out at the end of October showing that in Ontario, food banks rose 38% over last year. So a report released that indicates the number of people who used Ontario food banks went up 38% last year, which it says the largest single year increase recorded by the province's food bank network. The new report by Feed Ontario, a collective hunger relief organization, says more than 800,000 people in the province turned to emergency food support between April 1st, 2022 and March 31st of 2023. Now, that number would have significantly grown after March of 2023. And again, keep in mind, that's in the writings of these two individuals, both Anita Anand and Nathaniel Smith. So she's up at least 30% food bank usage, but she's in her expensive, probably $200 or $300 jacket with her $120 scarf and her nice leather boots, and I bet you while she's thinking about her excellent government pension and smiling, taking her little fart huffing, virtue signaling picture, that she feels pretty damn special. It says the total number of visits to food banks also rose similarly in that time, totaling more than 5.9 million, or 36% more than the previous year. The report says much of the growth came from first-time visitors, who accounted for 2 out of the 5 people who used food banks. It notes that 41% increase from a previous year. This document also says that food bank usage has gone up for the last 7 years in a row. Isn't that coincidental that Justin Trudeau's been the prime minister for 8 of those years? That after his first year of office, the food bank usage just continues to grow. It points to precarious work, the erosion of social support programs, and a lack of affordable housing as long-standing factors, with the skyrocketing cost of living as a more recent contributor. The report says that food bank use has continued to rise even though the unemployment rate returned to pre-pandemic levels in 2022. It notes more workers are turning to food banks, with 1 in 6 food bank visitors citing employment as their main source of income in the period covered by the report. This represents a 37% increase over the province's year and an 82% increase over 2016 to 2017, the report says. It used to be that having a job meant that you could not need to access the food bank, Feed Ontario's Chief Executive Officer, Carolyn Stewart, wrote in a statement. This is no longer the case. Working Ontarians are having trouble earning enough income to afford today's cost of living, even when working multiple jobs or trying to cut expenses. This report by the Canadian Press was first published on November 27th of 2023. So again, that was put out at the end of November. And here's the problem. What a lot of people don't realize is that when you work a second or third job, people say, well, I need more money to pay my bills. And they don't realize that when it comes to tax season, what the government actually does is they lump sum everything you've made and said, well, your first job pays $40,000 or $50,000 a year. Your second job pays you another $25,000 a year. And your third job pays you another $15,000 to $20,000 a year. So we're actually not taxing you enough, and you're penalized. You actually owe more in tax for simply trying to keep your head above water. So the basic answer is that things need to become affordable for people in order to live. Now, employers aren't like the government. They simply cannot just print more money and pay their employees more. That's not how business works. We have an out-of-touch government that not only has a spending problem, but provincial and municipal governments who also have spending problems that seem to think, well, we'll just have everything we want and tax the people later. And it's come full force when you look at the food bank, when you look at the cost of fuel, which I know has come down over the winter break, but believe me, as soon as winter's over, that is going to shoot up back again to $2 a liter. We've seen record levels of carbon tax owings, I guess you could say. And of course, Justin Trudeau's talking about quadrupling that amount. We're seeing now that with high interest rates and record inflation and money printing, that the bills come due. And well, at retailers at least, it's really starting to affect people's wallets. The average person that I talk to, when I see them struggling at the till, now I don't ask somebody's financial business, but somebody actually told me they're at a job where they make $80,000 a year, but after taxes and after they pay for their mortgage, their car payment, their cell phones, because they need those. Everybody works on those these days. They talk about clothing for their children. They talk about after-school programs. They talk about school fees. Once it's all added up, they said they're living check to check on an $80,000 a year salary. That is the problem, is that people just can't afford to live anymore. And these food banks are being overrun and pushed to the brink. And we did cover videos where, again, we've seen the scams of international students that say, well, I'm gonna go scam the food bank so I can keep my money and go buy the newest iPhone. I know they're starting to clamp down on that in certain places. Immigration Canada has also said that they have upped their their required money amounts for people to come over now, so that we're not seeing as much strain on the food banks. But the problem is, when you're seeing people renting single rooms in houses for $1,500 a month in order to just live, it's completely unacceptable, and society is on its way to crumbling. And I, for one, cannot wait for an election to be called and see Justin Trudeau booted to the curb. Let me know what you guys think down below. Is it any shock to you that food bank usage is up? What do you make of these two Liberal MPs? Are they as out of touch as I think they are? Maybe we should start calling their offices and telling them how we feel. I don't know about you guys, but I'll be placing my phone calls first thing in the morning. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure to click that subscribe button down below. Turn on your bell for notifications, because poor old King Justin doesn't like us talking about these things and often tries to censor us in the algorithm. So make sure to come back regularly, check on our content. New content is always posted Monday to Friday. And then join us every Sunday in the channel for the weekly wrap here at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, where we go over everything that's happened in the last week, everything coming up in the week ahead. And just a friendly reminder, this upcoming Sunday, of course, there will be no live stream, as of course it's New Year's Eve and people got better things to do than look at my ugly mug. But live streams will commence 1 week from this upcoming Sunday, and we'll get back to business as we wait for the MPs to come back to the House of Commons and get back to business themselves. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.